सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् एकदन्तं महाकायं तप्तकाञ्चनसन्निभम् लम्बोदरं विशाक्षं वन्देऽहं गणनायकम् शदाननं कुङ्कुमरक्तवर्णं महामतिं दिव्यमयूरवाहम् रुद्रस्य सूनुं सुरसैन्यनाथं गुहं सदाहं शरणं प्रपद्ये. So I hope you can see the screen. So just like good yogas, there is also a lot of bad yogas, like unnumbered bad yogas are there. Because there are like micro curses, mega curses, like which we call the Kshudra Shapas, the Bhuri Shapas, the Bahu Shapas, like many types of curses are there. But among them, we are actually in this class, in this basic thing, we only discuss the ones which are most common and also most commonly found in a result oriented way. That means most of the curses in this list, if you see that in the horoscope, generally you can estimate that their result will be shown unless and until it is not cancelled by any good yoga. So if a good yoga is not actually cancelling most of these bad yogas, definitely they will give the results. Unlike a planetary energies, the yogas generally cancel each other. That means one good yoga can be cancel other bad yoga, or a bad yoga can in that sense make a good yoga meaningless. So they can, because they are blessings and curses, they generally come in tandem. And actually, if there is strong blessing, the curse will never manifest, or if there is a strong curse, the blessings will never manifest. So they can actually cancel each other. So if a good yoga is not canceling them out, then definitely like these bad yogas results will be seen. And generally the first yoga, like which is it is called as the Kemadruma yoga. Kemadruma yoga is actually it is from the moon, just like Kesari yoga, Gaja Kesari yoga we have seen in the good yogas. This is also considered from the moon. And moon's second house and the 12th house, second and the 12th from the moon should be empty. So for this yoga to form, moon should be in a sign, and from the second of that sign and in the 12th of that sign, generally if there is like a bad, there is no planet actually. Like in the Kemadruma, from the moon's position in the 12th and in the second, there should be no planet. Then it shows the Kemadruma yoga. Kemadruma, which means that a plant that never come to fruit. So like when we plant a plant, basically, no, Rahu and Ketu are not counted for any yogas. Any yogas. In some bad yogas, they will be counted, but otherwise, like in this kind of like yogas for the position, like Rahu's and Ketu's position cannot be considered as a position. That means they are in the second. You have Rahu in the second of the moon. Still, it is Kemadrima. Still, it is Kemadrima. Rahu does not cancel out that. But if it is Mars, if it is Venus, if it is Sun, if it is Moon, not Sun, if it is Jupiter, if it is Venus, then it is not Kemadrima. Kemadrima means they generally experience blocks in life. It is said that even if you have every royal yogas, like Raja yogas, which we have discussed in the previous, Kemadrima alone kind of like nullify all of them, where the person never, there will be like a plant, that means there will be an effort, but not any benefit from that effort. So that the action, the karma, and the result, the bhala, they will never come together. So people will doing, but to no avail. They will do a lot of like the treatments will not get benefits. Practices will not give full results. Like will give some results, but will not get into to completion to the fruition. That is Kemadrima Yoga. And it is a common yoga, but normally no people generally don't experience that yoga because of the cancellation. This yoga, generally we say that if a person lived a life that is fully centered on themselves, like they never spend a second of their life, or they never spend a penny of their money in a previous life for the benefit of others. That means they never did any charity, they never helped anybody. They were mostly centered on themselves. That is when the in the next coming life they will get the Kemadrima yoga. That is the karma that is creating that yoga. Generally they will experience loneliness, suffering, blocks, everything like that. And mostly it actually nullifies the Raja yogas. In the previous class we have discussed, I think 2 or 3 Raja yogas. All of them get nullified by that yoga. But there are 2 yogas which we discussed in the previous good yogas. One is called as the Gachakesari yoga. The other one is called as the Amala yoga. These 2 yogas, that means the moon, Jupiter in the center of the moon, Jupiter in the Kendra of the moon, and Venus in the Kendra of the moon, definitely cancels out the Kemadrima yoga. That means even including Mercury. So even if there is any benefic planet, Jupiter, Venus, or Mercury, is there present in the center of the moon. That means from moon, in the first house, fourth house, seventh house, or 10th house from moon, if there is any benefic planet is actually present, that position, that combination, particularly the position of Venus and Jupiter. Venus from center of moon is called as Amala Yoga, and Jupiter in center of the moon is called as Gajakesari Yoga. These 2 yogas, good yogas, cancel out the Kemadrima Yoga. It kind of like nullify the impact of the Kemadrima Yoga. So that is the first and most most one of the most activated bad yoga. That is the Kemadrima Yoga. Any questions?
Doctor, because I forgot, how is it with the sun? Does sun calculate here as a planet if it's positioned, for example, in the 2nd or 12th house or not?
No planet like sun actually, like Rahu and Ketu, does not cancel the Kemadrima Yoga. That means sun in the 2nd house of the moon or 12th house of the moon still create Kemadrima Yoga. Sun generally don't cancels that out.
Okay. So when you talk about the planets here, we are talking about rather Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, these four, right?
Yes.
Okay,
There is a name for those planets. They are called as the Tara Grahas, the 5 planets, the elemental planets.
okay.
So
Yeah, of course.
Sun and Moon are one category of planet. Rahu and Ketu are another category of planet. Inside the middle, there is the 5 ones, which are the elemental planets. An elemental
Elemental.
planet should be there. From in either, like it doesn't need to be like in second and 12, either in the second of or in the 12 for the Kemadrima Yoga to not happen. But if it happened, then a planet should be, particularly a benefic planet, should be there from the center of the moon, most
Okay.
effectively Jupiter and Venus, to cancel out the Kemadrima Yoga.
Super. Thank you. Clear.
What you have only a malefic in Kendra from the moon? No. Even malefics cancel out. A partial cancellation of the Kemadrima Yoga happens, even if there is a malefic in the center from the moon. But not full cancellation. They will experience Kemadrima for a partial, like say, imagine like a 40% or 50% intensity. Only Jupiter and Venus can completely nullify that. Mercury mostly will nullify it. Saturn, and Mars, generally half, nullify it half. Both houses need to be empty. It is not like an easy yoga to get. You need to have no planets, no 5 planets, Taragrahas, in the 12 and also in the second.
And what if Rahu is sorry, Dr. Vikas, what if Rahu is in the first house after the moon? It doesn't
Sun,
change
Rahu,
anything.
and Ketu are not calculated.
Okay. Sun
So
also not.
still it is Kemadrima.
Okay.
Sarva sadhana bhathakaha, which means that everything that you actually plan, you will not be able to complete in the plan. There will be some deviations, some deflections, some defections. Your dreams and your realities will be very different if you have Kemadrima Yoga. We generally in Vedic astrology say it makes the king a beggar and a beggar a king. Not beggar a king. Raja Yogas make beggar a king. Kemadrima Yoga make king a beggar. Why the second house and the 12th house is actually because if there is a planet in the second and the 12th house, generally it creates an alignment. That means moon's energy connect with the planets if they are in the second and 12th house. But if moon is alone, its energy cannot actually influence or it cannot actually flow through any channel. Moon actually is a very raw primordial energy which does not have many channels. It need to have a channel that is formed through an element to express. And if there is no actual planet there, it never gets that channel. That is how they will have everything, but they will have nothing in the reality. So that conversion from the dream state to the reality state will never happen because moon generally does not get a channel to make its energy flow through. And why like that? That is something of the advanced course. No, it cannot be said like that. Moon itself is the dream state. Now coming to the next yoga. Next yoga is Guru Chandala Yoga. Guru Chandala Yoga is actually I hope there is no question. Guru Chandala Yoga is actually a yoga that is combined a combination of Jupiter with Rahu. It is very severe if Jupiter is eclipsed, less severe if it is not eclipsed, like more like further less severe if Rahu is only aspecting, not be with that. So Guru Chandala Yoga is a yoga that give people get accepted or like connected with wrong advices. Generally, if you have Guru Chandala Yoga in your horoscope, you will always be blessed with bad advisors. Constantly, you will be prompted in paths that is not right for you. Constantly, you will be getting directions, intuitions, things like that, which will lead you to like severe difficulties. Generally, if you have Guru Chandala Yoga, you should not trust your intuitions. It actually prompts people to go in directions that are not good for them, that are not well for them. The Guru Chandala Yoga is formed by Guru and Chandala. Chandala is actually another name for Rahu. Guru and Chandala forms Guru Chandala Yoga. Guru Chandala Yoga actually should not create any difficulty for the teacher. A teacher who is actually worth for his money will never actually accept a disciple who has got Guru Chandala Yoga. If there is no Yoga Bhanga and then a teacher is accepting a Guru Chandala Yoga student, basically it is for their own demise, their own like bad karma. If the teacher want to suffer, definitely that is one of the easiest ways to accept a student with Guru Chandala Yoga. But there can be yoga bhangas, particularly Panchamahabhurusha yogas. If any of the Panchamahabhurusha yogas is there, and a student will completely misinterpret teacher's advice. Teacher will, like a teacher guides a student by being inside the student. And if there is a Guru Chandala Yoga, the teacher when try to enter into the heart of the disciple, he will just or she will just experience darkness. She will, because Chandala, it is Rahu, it is absolute darkness. So she will never be able to break that darkness and connect with the heart of the Guru, disciple, heart of the disciple. And because of that, never will be able to, the advices from the Guru will be much like for the disciple an advice that is coming from a book. There is a genuine difference for an advice that is coming from a guru and an advice that is coming from a book. But for a student who is having Guru Chandala Yoga, there is no such difference. That yoga comes because the person kind of like deviated from a very strong knowledge path in their previous life. If they actually become consumed by the world and deviated from their path of purpose in their previous life, and then the Guru tried to correct them, then they become very harsh, very bad to the Guru, and the Guru cursed them. That is when Guru Chandala Yoga happens. The problem of Guru Chandala Yoga is that the disciple, sometimes, particularly if that disciple has got a very nice Jupiter in their horoscope, they will be so attentive to the Guru. They will be so committed to the Guru. They will be so good in this life. They will be really like interested in knowing that. But the connection which makes the Guru and the disciple will never happen. They need to cleanse. They need to remove that curse before they try to go into a serious Guru. So it is not a yoga that blocks knowledge, getting knowledge, but it blocks actually from that knowledge being any useful for the person. that is the Guru Chandala Yoga. It is fully if Jupiter and Rahu is together and eclipsed. It is partial if not eclipsed. It is mild but still present if Rahu is only aspecting the 7th house aspect. Now, any questions?
Could you comment on why does it affect the person's financial life? Education makes sense because they won't be able to make it useful, maybe, but the financial part, maybe because they're able
They
to
will
apply.
make, because finance is something that we don't have too much of an innate knowledge. It's always a knowledge that we get from outside. Finances changes every 100 years or like 150 years. So there is no innate knowledge for us regarding the finances. So it's always a knowledge that we get from the outside. That is why the 2nd house is the house of finances. Because of that, because they have a very bad reception to the, they sometimes can completely misunderstand the informations and the wisdom that is generated from the information. They cannot actually get the proper knowledge that actually hurt them financially strongly. Jupiter is also the planet of finances, which are our tools to grow. Finance is one of the key tools for our growth, and that actually get collapsed if Jupiter is more or less clueless. It is the same reason why strong Jupiter makes person run big financial institutions. Now coming to the, okay, any further question?
No question, Doctor. The screen went blank for some minutes, but it's back.
Is it now okay? Can see the screen, I hope. Yeah. Okay, now coming to the next yoga. It's called a Shakata Yoga. Shakata Yoga is actually a yoga that is formed when Jupiter is from the 6th or 8th of from the moon. Shakat Yoga, the word Shakata means vehicle. Shakata Yoga, moon and Jupiter are 6th or 8th. That means moon cannot access Jupiter, Jupiter cannot access moon. You understand what happens. This we have discussed if people are here who are actually there in that Sanskrit class we done before. The thought and the emotions, the conversation between intellect and the mind. Intellect is Jupiter, mind is moon. If moon is not accessible for Jupiter, Jupiter is not accessible for moon, their mind will not respond to their intelligence. Their intelligence will not respond to their mind. So they will become vehicles.
Sorry, Dr. Sorry, Dr. Vikas, you said they become vehicles?
Vehicles, like car, like bus, like motorcycle, something, vehicle.
What does that mean? Sorry, I don't understand.
I don't know, is it the right word in English?
I don't know. I'm trying to understand. So, like, what does that mean? Like, anybody can get in and drive? I'm trying to understand the metaphor. I don't know
Absolutely,
what.
yes. Absolutely, yes. Like a vehicle is not the thing that decides where to go. Whenever actually a vehicle decides where to go, it is going for sure destruction. So vehicle is never get a chance to decide where to go. So we generally say there are Krishnas, there are Arjunas, and then there are the chariots. So it does not have like a choice on where exactly it is going. So Shakata yoga is considered to be one of the very bad yogas, on the sense that they are not responsible even for their failures. Like they can actually be driven by people who wants to utilize them, exploit them. So it is a yoga that generally give an opportunity for exploitation. Shakata yoga affect every Jupiter. But if Jupiter is actually very strong, they will be mostly driven by good people. That is the advantage. If Jupiter is good, still Shakata yoga is Shakata yoga. But mostly they will be, no, it will not nullified. Like they will be used by more good purpose than bad purpose. But still, they are actually used. For an example, instead of dying for a bad person, they will die for a good person. So what is the point of difference between both? So that is the only thing difference. Strong Jupiter, strong moon generally enhances the reason for which they are actually a vehicle, but still they are actually a vehicle. It actually prevents from independent thought. That is the Shakata Yoga's problem, that it prohibits independent thought. Generally, we will say that Shakata Yoga happens when somebody is actually too much dominating others, or like utilizing, manipulating others in the previous life. Yeah, it will hinder willpower. Yes, it will. Because the will, in the word willpower, the will is moon and the power is Jupiter. If you cannot actually connect them, there is no willpower.
Excuse me, Dr. Vikas, if you count from the moon, then the moon is the first house, or is the house after the moon the first house?
If you are counting from the moon, moon is the first house.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So that is the Shakata Yoga. They are the only people whom we can say that they need a guru, must, definitely, because that is their only way to be driven in a good direction, so that they will actually without their own thoughts, without their own manifestation from their brain, they can still reach into great places if they are actually driven by like wisdom, etc., that is coming from a guru. So that is the only people who need, like, it's not an option, they need a guru, otherwise they will be utilized by others, manipulated just like they were manipulating in the previous life by others, and they will be thoughtless vehicles. There is no nullification by a good yoga other than like Gajakesari yoga, like that, which are general nullification for every bad yoga. They will nullify the a portion of this, but other than that, there is no nullification. Their only probability is that let them be a vehicle of God, let them be a vehicle of like a guru, let them be a vehicle of like a prophet. If you want me to be a vehicle, make me a vehicle of somebody who is that good, so that through them, with them, together with them, I can also reach that same space. Because wherever the owner is going, the vehicle is also going.
Dr. Vikas, can you tell again which ones are the good yogas that nullify all the bad yogas?
The earlier said yogas, like Gachakesari yoga, Amala yoga, like those yogas generally nullify the bad results of every yoga, every moon yoga, basically every moon-based yoga. So not into like complete nullification, but yeah, it will get a subsidy.
Okay, thank you.
And Dr. Vikas, is there anything you could do to prevent or to make this first bad yoga better? The Kema Druma yoga? Anything you can do?
If it is there, and if it is not cancelled by any good yogas, very less things are there which can cancel it out.
Okay.
The only way is to have people through which that person can act. Kemadruma yoga actually make the person having nothing. So an intelligent person, when he has got Kemadruma yoga, and also does not have any cancellation for that, operate through others.
I don't understand. What does it mean? No, I don't understand. What does it mean? They operate through others? I don't
Like
understand.
they will not have anything on themselves, but they will actually find themselves positions where nothing actually needed for them, where they are actually facilitating the things of others. For example, they will actually stay as a connection between two good people, two great people. They will actually stay as a link. They will actually stay as a catalyst. You understand, catalyst, which is not part of the chemical reaction, but it is one which does the chemical reaction. So they will assume that positions, which we call the neutral positions, by which they do a lot of things, they gain a lot of things, but nothing as it is actually on them. It is everywhere everywhere around them. They will experience that, but they will not own anything. So they will actually get into positions where ownership is not good, but experience is good.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
No, I said will and power. If will cannot access power, will is waste. If power does not have will, power is stagnant, like not useful. Now
Okay,
coming
so
to the
I'm sorry. So it
please
means
ask, please.
it means it's more of an internal blockage, not that circumstances block them, but that it's more of an internal blockage that they cannot connect those two
That
things.
there is an internal blockage. Definitely, it is an internal blockage. You will see a person with Shakata yoga. They will believe whomever who can have the power of their mind to override their power, override their mind. They will be like, they will not think. They will be like just instruments, like a pen or a phone, to another person who can actually override their frequency. Are there any other remedies? Remedies are there, like remedies are there. But they are all deep remedies. Like these yogas, all of them have remedies, but not like something that can be done in 1.5 hours or 2 hours and you're out of that. Like not such remedies. They need serious level of remedies where you're actually clearing the karma that created this yoga from the previous life. That is your best way to get out of that. Now, coming to the next, Shrapit Yoga. Shrapit Yoga is actually the conjunction of Saturn and Rahu. Saturn and Rahu conjuncted is actually creating the Shrapit Yoga. Shrapit Yoga is what makes a person very sensitive to the negative energies. So like generally a person experience way more higher sensitivities to the energies around them if they have Shrapit Yoga. That means your probability of your mind getting affected by another energy around it is what Shrapit Yoga creates. Shrapit Yoga, generally a person gets Shrapit Yoga when they do black magic in the previous life. Do or make done. Like do or make somebody do. That is the reason for getting the Shrapit Yoga. Just like said in the Guru Chandala, it is intense if there is like Saturn kind of like is eclipsed by Rahu, it is very intense. If Saturn and Rahu are together but not eclipsed, it is moderate. If Rahu is only aspecting Saturn, it is mild. That is Shrapit Yoga. What Shrapit Yoga does is actually, basically our mind has got walls around it. That is what makes it not connected by the energies around that. Our mind is actually a protected thing, a walled thing. So it always travel inside the wall, not outside the wall. But if Saturn is with Rahu, that walls are not there. Their mind is absolutely open. It will roam away from the body. It will be not always confined to the body. And in that like free state, it generally get afflicted by energies which are not good for it, that creating lot of problems for the person. That is actually the Shrapit Yoga. People who are actually like seeing ghosts, things like that, they generally will have some level of this yoga present. Generally, this yoga also has good solutions. Very much like it's not like too much big. They need actually what we call the shields to protect them from protect their mind so that it is not affected by many of the things. So now coming to the next yoga. Is there a way to use this in positive? Actually, yes, definitely yes. For example, if you're actually working as somebody who who is doing like past life regression or something like that, if you're actually using your mind a lot, if it is very important for you to make your mind very fluid, make your mind very movable, very subtle, if you're actually in anything where your mind's subtlety is very important, you generally will actually get use of this yoga very much, Shrapit Yoga, because the mind is unbounded and it will give really positive results. That means if you're actually trying your mind to work on another person or something like that, this yoga will be a good thing, provided you have other protection with that. Shields are actually sometimes mantra shields, sometimes medicines, which kind of like strengthen the mind, kind of like create a protective covering around the manomaya kosha, so that the mind is not afflicted by any of the energies. That is generally shields. Many type of shields are like shield itself is a big like variety group of things. So they are actually very useful if you have that. Now, going to the next yoga. It's called as Visha Yoga. It's an yoga that affects the health, where moon is associated with Saturn. So moon associated or seventh house aspected by the Saturn creates Visha Yoga. Visha means toxins. Visha Yoga means they generally will have an higher toxicity. That means if toxins are created, their detoxification process will be very slow or dysfunctional. That means if toxins comes, they will have a huge impact regarding that toxins. Because of that, like if everybody is consuming the same type of food, the amount of toxins that will affect from that food will be higher for these people. So that is the Visha Yoga. Generally not a very good position for health. Other than health, it is not so much of a problem, but we generally have say like if you have Visha Yoga, you need to have a pharmacy in your home, because you will taking one medicine and after that another medicine, after that another medicine, because this toxin will just circulate and go into different parts, and you will get diseases there. You will clear one part, then it will go to the another part. So for those people, like this purificatory process, like panchakarma or like Chinese medicine purification, such things are very good for them, because they will have a better chance of health by going through that purification process.
Dr. Vikas, I didn't understand. Is it when Saturn and Moon are together in one house, or if they are 7 houses apart, or does it not matter in which house they are?
Moon and the Saturn should be in the same house for a strong Visha Yoga. Moon and Saturn mutually in the 7th house is actually a mild Visha Yoga.
Okay. So if they are not in the same house and not connected through any drishti, then it's not happening, this yoga, right?
I don't understand, because there is only one position where Moon and Saturn will have a drishti each other if they are 7 to each other, because Moon does not have any other drishti. So Moon and Saturn aspecting each other only happen when Saturn is in the 7th house from the Moon.
Ah, yes. Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you.
This is related to the liver. Yes, it is related to the liver. It actually make liver, kidney, etc. Dysfunctional. Now coming to the next yoga. It's called as Agni Maruta Yoga, or otherwise Yama Yoga. It is Mars in combination with Saturn, but you need to understand Mars and Saturn, if they are strong, there will be very less impact of this yoga. They should be actually weak for this yoga to have its full destruction. It is actually make a person chooses destruction every time. So their general choice, they like if there are like 10 trains in a railway station, they will actually get into the train where it has got the highest probability of a derailing. So they will actually intentionally and unintentionally create destruction in their path. So they generally have a tendency to do activities, or like in their destiny there will be destruction. That is their position. So it's a bit particularly if you see a person who is having Yama Yoga in its fullest, generally they will have one misfortune after another misfortune after another misfortune, coming in form of health, and also coming in form of like many other things like fire accidents, falls, slips, etc. So it is better to make them do remedies so that they actually can have a better luck and better prospects of getting out healthily from that. It is Yama Yoga.
Would you also tell us the remedies for this?
The best remedy is actually, like remedies is a class of its own. That means in the basic course you cannot actually learn all the different types of the remedies. But still, it has need, like all the yogas, if you're actually doing a remedy for a yoga, because yogas are coming from previous life, so you need to go to the previous life if you want to do the remedy for the yoga. One of the easiest remedy for like the Yama Yoga, we generally call the Soma Yajnas. The Yajnas, there is a classic classification of the Yajnas, which are called as the Soma Yajnas. They are actually very good remedy for the Yama Yoga. Otherwise, what people can do more like meditations, breathing exercises. Yeah, they are actually kind of like good remedies for the Yama Yoga. Giving like charity, particularly that is one of the strong remedy for Yama Yoga. Charity, not like in the money giving charity, but like feeding animals, feeding plants, feeding birds, supporting the life. This is actually a very good remedy for both Yama Yoga and Visha Yoga. This one and the previous Saturnian bad yogas, that actually is a very good remedy to provide for the life. These are the things that you can do. But still, if you are actually in the time of Saturn, in the dasha of Saturn, or in the time of the Mars, be also very prayerful.
Okay, thank you.
No. But like these yogas, particularly the Saturn, the Yama Yoga, Visha Yoga, etc., generally have got all the Panchamahabhurusha yogas kind of like cancel them, nullify them, zero. Particularly a yoga like a Shashamaha yoga or like a Ruchaka yoga, which are from Mars and Saturn, they generally completely nullifies the result of this Yama yoga, etc. So it's also not very easy for a person to completely experience that. Now, next one is Angaraka yoga. Any questions?
Yes, excuse me, which yogas are nullifying these bad yogas? Is it again this Gaja Kesari yoga?
No. In the first, we have spoken about the 5 Mahaprusha yogas. They will nullify them. Particularly if it is with Saturn and Mars, it will definitely nullify them.
Okay.
Will nullify only the two previous yogas. Sorry, I can't remember their name. The ones previous to Angaraka yoga, Pancha Mahapurusha yogas nullifies both of those?
Yes, the Yama yoga and also the Visha yogas. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't understand which yogas, the Pancha Maha Purusha, or what was it?
Exactly.
Okay.
They are the first yogas we discussed in the last class. They kind of
Okay.
like nullify them.
Okay.
Now coming to the next one, the Angaraka yoga, where Mars is actually with Ketu. So Mars along with Ketu is actually a fire imbalance. It creates a huge imbalance of the fire, which make the person go through all the wrong paths. Conjunction of Mars and Ketu in a horoscope is actually showing like it's a sign that they use fire in the previous life for bad purposes, like burning the house or like burning the farms, or like hurt somebody with fire or hurt somebody with metal. That is what exactly shows the Angaraka yoga, and they generally will be having highly destabilized life. Mostly will be engaging in habits just to harmonize the fire. They will engage in bad habits, which kind of like make it more difficult for them. So this is an highly imbalanced yoga. It needs harmonization. This yoga needs like the people, like healing people, harmonizing people can very easily manage this yoga. It's called Angaraka yoga. The ideal solution set for this yoga is actually to create a water giving thing, like in a desert or like in a roadside or something, where you install a water giving machine and just give water for free, like not for money, just for free. More people drinking the water, more your Angaraka yoga will become normalized, harmonized.
And is this yoga also nullified by any other yoga?
Like said previous, the Mahapurush yogas will nullify this yoga also.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Vikas, I am wondering, like, we keep saying about how some of these yogas are due to doing very bad things in a previous life, but they could be nullified
All of
by a very good yoga. In that
yeah,
case, does that mean that they didn't do such a bad job of it, or it wasn't so bad, or they did it, but because of other boons, the
they also
yoga?
do something like, to get a Mahapurush yoga, you should do something so magnificent in the previous life. So that actually will give you an exit from this curse. So you will not experience the curse in its fullness, because this punya that you did, this good karma that you did, generally give you an exit, give you a way out of that.
But you did the bad thing. You're just
Of
giving.
course, yes. Of
Okay,
course,
okay.
you have it.
Yeah. And then what if Mars is in a sign of strength for this yoga? Because sometimes the placement matters, right?
The stronger the planet, the weaker the bad yoga. The stronger the planet, the weaker the bad yoga. The weaker the planet, the weaker the good yoga. That is the rule of thumb.
And Dr. Vikas, these Maha yogas, they all only nullify the last three bad yogas, or also the first three which we learned today?
No, they're not, because they generally are not effective in the yogas coming from moon.
Okay. So they don't help in the first three or four.
Not that much,
Okay.
not into a significant level.
Okay, thank you.
So that is the Angaraka yoga. Next one is called as the Bandhana yoga. Bandhana yoga is actually restriction, blocks. It does not mean always like jail or anything like that, but blocks. Generally, if Saturn, Mars, or Rahu are either in the 12th house, or if they have an ownership of the 12th house and placed in a Kendra, create that yoga. Be a bit, the note of that is not very clear, but please listen because of that. Mars, Saturn, and Rahu. Mars, Saturn, and Rahu. Not Ketu. Mars, Saturn, and Rahu should be either placed in the 12th house, or they should have the ownership of the 12th house. Mars or Saturn should have the ownership of the 12th house, and they should be placed in a Kendra, placed in a center. That creates Bandhana yoga. That creates restriction based on that placement. That will be the form of restriction. That means if Saturn is actually there, it will be more like emotional restriction. If it is Mars, then it is more legal restriction. If it is Rahu, it will be more intellectual restriction.
I'm sorry, Dr. Vikas, I didn't understand. So it's when they one of them sits in the Kendra and owns the 12th house, only one of them or all of them?
Only one. Only one of these planets will create. That means if you are having in your horoscope Rahu in the 12th house, you are already having the Bandhana Yoga. So you will be restricted. You need to look how you are actually getting restricted and whether it is whether needed to break that restrictions, because sometimes restrictions are good, and then need to break, then you need to work like that to break that.
How can we break that?
Based on the planet. If it is Mars, you should break that by like having more focus. If it is Saturn, you should break that by having more resources. If it is Rahu, you should break that by having more love.
Okay.
One example. There are also other ways. To the previous yoga, they need harmonization. It's not like they can do that. They need harmonization. So that is the Bandhana Yoga. Generally, this Bandhana Yoga is not just like jail or something. It actually prevents a person from attaining their full sense in every dimension of life. They will be restricted everywhere. So that is the impact of the Bandhana Yoga. And one planet alone will be able to give all different types of restrictions, because it will start in one restriction, then it spread. That restrictions will spread into the other. Like it may start as an emotional restriction, then will become a physical restriction, then will become an intellectual restriction. So restrictions will spread. So it's a very sensitive planetary position to handle with. But not like any bad destiny. You will be blocked. You will be not moving. You will be stuck.
And it can also be canceled out by Mahapurusha or other yogas?
Yes, not much. You need remedies for the 12th house generally to cancel it out. Will not be cancelled out by but the other yogas like the Gajagesari etc. will reduce it. Will reduce its intensity, but you need to work on that 12th house to completely get out of them.
And how we can work on the 12th house is another lesson, or would you tell us now?
I think I have said about this. To work on the 12th house, you need to change your circumstances. Any action that you're actually changing external circumstances is working on the 12th house. That means, for an example, easiest example is changing the country. Like if you're born in a country, living in a country, you change the country, you're actually working on your 12th house. So if there is great results, that is why like some people will be constantly restricted in some country. The moment they shift the country, that restrictions are gone. They'll be like having everything.
I see. Okay.
12th house is one of the most important houses to understand, because earlier there was a question like it is. I think it is in the group. Yeah, like the 8th house, whether it is connected with like a death or like a big loss. That was a question in the group. Actual answer to that question is you need to be alive to perceive a great loss. So to perceive a great loss, to understand, to accept, to actualize a great loss, you need to be alive. So death is very different from great loss. So like somebody's death is actually a great loss for others. So if somebody whom we care for is dead, that is not a loss for that person. That is a loss for the people who are alive. Loss only is there when you are as long as you are actually alive. And because of that, to be perceiving that loss, you should be alive. So 8th house does not mean like a big loss. It actually means death. What sin was committed in the past life to create a Bandhana Yoga? The answer is actually giving restrictions to others. And we generally say we have an amazing character in our epics. She is called as Sita. So she suffered like bandhana restriction for almost an year. And then after moving out from that restriction, she asked somebody, what is the reason why I experienced this restriction? And the person said that when you were a child, you actually put a parrot in a cage for the whole like time. You never allowed it to fly in the sky as it wanted. So because you restricted the freedom of another being, that actually made you eligible to get restriction for yourself. All of these yogas are lifelong, but when you're actually going through the planetary period of sub-period of the yoga posing planets, that is when you experience it to the fullest, maximum. That means Guru Chandala Yoga, you will experience all lifelong, you will have an impact of that. But in the Rahu's period, in the Jupiter's period, that is the time where you will experience it the maximum. So that is their longevity. Now, another one is like Vyaya Yoga, not so much of an bad, cannot be said as bad as the others. It is like financial problems. It is when the second house ruler is in the 12th house, or if there is a terrible planet in the second house. To have that Vyaya Yoga, it should be both. Like the second house ruler should be on the 12th, plus there should be a bad planet in the second house. That creates Vyaya Yoga. They will never get rich. If they gain 5 rupees, they will have like 500 rupees expenses. But that is the only bad effects. If you are not concerned with money, no problem. Now, I will tell you one story connected. This is my story my teacher told me. This connected with this Vyaya Yoga. There was like a very, very, very poor person who actually have like nothing, absolutely no wealth. And he was, there is a son born, and this son, he took actually that son to my guru's guru. So my guru said that this horoscope, this person has got Vyaya Yoga, he will actually create destruction of the wealth. Like he will see the wealth kind of like destroyed in front of him. So the father of the child becomes so happy because they never have wealth. So for this child to destroy the wealth, they should first get the wealth. So the father was happy because at least we will get some wealth in that direction. But what happened is that this child has been then adopted to a family, which is because there were many children for every family. So if they cannot like keep them, they will send them to other families like adopted children. And then this person kind of like adopted into a very rich family. And in his lifetime, he was successfully able to make that family penniless by his actions. So that is the story which my teacher told me about this Vyaya Yoga. It's not like they will not be wealthy. They kind of like destroy the wealth wherever they are actually. So if you're actually beginning a business partnership with these people, not maybe very good. Nice. And that happens because they kind of like, how to say, looted the wealth of people in their previous life. That is the reason for that curse. Now, Papa Kartari Yoga. Papa Kartari Yoga is actually yoga where like it is a yoga for a house or a planet. That means Papa Kartari means restless or like disturbed or like anxious or like bad. So that happens when a planet has got a malefic planet on both sides of it. That generally destroys the happiness of that planet and make terrible results. So connected with that, for an example, like Jupiter, the planet of children, has got a Papa Kartari inside it. On both sides of that Jupiter, there is a bad planet. Basically, that actually create too much disturbances connected with children. So that is the result of the Papa Kartari. This is there for planets and also the houses. That means if there is a bad planet in the 12th house, if there is a bad planet in the second house, the first house get Papa Kartari. So they will be disturbed by themselves. They will be unhappy with themselves. If you have a Papa Kartari for 10th house, you will be unhappy of your work. You have a Papa Kartari in the 7th house, you will be unhappy of your relationship, like that.
Dr. Vikas, if you have a house sandwiched between two malefic planets, but one of those houses also has benefic planets, how does that modify?
If that house has got a benefic planet, the house will not experience the difficulties of the Papa Kartari. It will be overwritten by the benefic planet's benefits.
So even if
those are the people who will have everything, but they still will be not very happy. Like for an example, Mercury. That is a better example. Mercury is in the 7th house. Very good Mercury, very, very good Mercury in the 7th house. 6th house and the 8th house also have bad planets. So that is a situation where the 7th house has got a very benefic planet, but in the 6th house and 8th house, there is bad planets. In such condition, they will have an amazingly good partner. And they will also have an amazingly good relationship with the partner, but they will still be not satisfied. They will still be like, not good. Like they will not feel like fully satisfied because of these 6th and 8th house planets.
But what if, yes, that makes sense. But what if, like, say, for example, you have Mercury in the 7th, and I mean, I consider, for example, Sun. I'm considering Sun a malefic planet, not because it's just because it's Kura, right? So what if you had Mercury in the 7th and you had Sun, Venus in the 6th, and Saturn in the 8th? Does the presence of that Venus in the 6th modify that? Like, is it still the same yoga? Is it?
Oh, it is still the same yoga if actually Sun is ahead of Venus. So in that house, Sun's position is ahead of Venus, then it is the same yoga. Means if Venus is actually in between Sun and if Venus is actually in between Sun and Mercury, then there is no Papa Kartari there. I hope you are getting that clearly.
Yes, it doesn't matter that there's Sun in the 6th, Saturn in the 8th, as long as Venus is in between the Sun and Mercury in the 7th.
Yes. And the solution for that is the actual solution for Papa Kartari is said to be spiritual practices like meditations, prayers, surrendering the ownership of the life, which we call the Sharanagati. Such practices which clears the sadness, which clears the dissatisfaction, they are the ultimate solution for these yogas, Papavriti yogas.
Dr. Vikas, I thought that the only malefic planets are Rahu and Ketu and Saturn and Mars, right? So
No,
I'm confused.
no. Sun actually can also be malefic. Weak moon can be malefic. Almost every planet can be malefic based on its house rulership. There is no actual planet that is out of the malefic consideration. Sun, Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, they are called as natural malefics. That means their natural position is malefic. They can also be benefic. For an example, for a Taurus ascendant, there is no more better benefic than Saturn. So they can also be benefics. But they are natural benefics because their most natural position is malefic. But that is true for Sun also.
You said for Taurus ascendant, Saturn is not a malefic? Did you say that?
No, it's not. Yes, I said that, and it is not.
Oh, okay. And why? I don't get it.
Because of the rulership. It rules the 9th house and the 10th house. Saturn provides one of the best frequencies for the Taurus ascendant. So it is not there, it's not a malefic planet for them.
Okay, so the malefic planets are those who rule the 8th house and the 12th house and the 6th house. Are these the malefic?
Yes, and yes. Mostly yes.
And are Rahu and considered also as planets in here in this kind of yogas or not?
In this yoga, so that means the Papakartari yoga?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. That is, this Papakartari comes when you're actually constantly disturbing somebody in your previous life without giving them a time to relax. Actually, the word relax is actually what absent if you have a Papakartari yoga. Now, there are certain doshas. They are not, they cannot be considered as a bad yoga. They are actually imperfections, which are resulting in a drive towards perfection. That means they are not like a result of a bad karma always, but they are more like when you have like a chance to have a very perfect karma. It shows they can be considered as badness, definitely yes, but it is their impact will be bad, but their reasons are not mostly lies in your karma. So the bad yogas which we have discussed to this point, the reason for that badness exists in your previous lives. For the next one which we call dosha, to differentiate them from the others, they are there because they are actual reasons, or like the badness of their actually is not coming from mostly from a bad karma of your previous, but it is mostly coming from the dimensions of your own horoscope. That means how to say, a bad yoga kind of like is connected with the badness that a person acquired by their own actions. A bad dosha is something that a person kind of like experience circumstantially along with a lot of others. That means every dosha will be experienced by more than one person. I hope it is understandable. One more time. For an example, eclipse. One example is eclipse. Sun is eclipsed or moon is eclipsed. It is not because somebody's previous life karma, the sun eclipsed in their horoscope. The sun is eclipsed in their horoscope because their life ascended them into a state where they can actually actualize, or they can actually realize their soul if they are actually made one more push. One example I can say is dosha is something like in India, the teachers kind of like be angry and hit students. Forgive us, but that is our way of education. And if you're actually a good student, you will get more hits. If you're actually a bad student, you will get more hits, or maybe less hits. So being a bad student and getting less hits is what the yogas which we have discussed to this point. And the doshas in a horoscope is where you are actually a good student. Because of that, the karma is more concerned, or like we generally say, the devatas, the deities, are more concerned with you. So you will get more bigger tests. They actually shows the tests a person experience in life. Testings, not experience, like how to say, like challenges, parikshas, the tests a person will go through in their life, because they are actually in a higher echelon of the soul energy. Not because they are actually done something bad. They were actually going towards moksha, and they actually ascended into a higher like level. And in that higher level, the testing will be there. The tests will be there. And the tests are actually the doshas. Is it clear?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, sun's eclipse is like that. Moon's eclipse is like that. Kala Sarpa dosha is like that. Pitra dosha is like that. Like that.
Can you say what the Kala Sarpa dosha and the Pitru dosha are, and Nag dosha?
Yeah, Kala Sarpa dosha, I will actually write one more small note and put in the group to explain that. But right now I will explain it generally. Kala Sarpa dosha is when every planet is in between Rahu and Ketu. Their challenge is to find stability in constant mobility. Like things, because they are actually so close to the curvature of the time space. So the time and space will push them continuously. They need to find a point of stability inside this constant movement of Kala Sarpa. Kala Sarpa means the serpent that is time. So the serpent that is time will they will have very less free will in their horoscope. They will have very less free will. They will be constantly like driven by the movements of the time, and they need to find an island of stability inside that constant flow of time. If they found, they are actually liberated. They are actually enlightened. If they don't found, they will again born again. Yes, if Surya Grahana dosha, not in the 6th or 8th or 12th, not there. If Surya Grahana, or like Surya Grahana means eclipse of sun or eclipse of moon, is in any of the other houses other than the 6, 8, and 12, you need to do one extra push a hard push, maybe the best push of your whole life, and you will get moksha. Because they are the last stage. Where you fail, you will reach into a lower stage. So it is like there is a questioning game where each level the questions will be harder, and after a level, if you lose, you will reach into a very low level. Like I believe I have seen, like at least in our TV it was there. I hope it was there in the whole world. This is exactly like that. That means you are actually climbing up and up and up, but then you reach into that last echelon where the questions are so difficult. But if you cover that, if you clear that, if you answer that, you're liberated. If you're not answered that, come down. Then you will again work again.
What if these doshas do occur in the 6th, 8th, or 12th, though? Like, what does that mean?
You will never experience the existence of the eclipse. Nothing more terrible like sun or moon in the 8th or 12th. Because you will not have something and you will never be even aware that you don't have that. So you will never have any signs which telling you to do that extra push. So you will actually come into the door of the moksha and you will never understand that what is in front of you is actually the door of the moksha. It is like having a lottery ticket, getting the lottery, and then forgetting the ticket or losing the ticket.
Can you explain what that means though? Like, for example, could you explain sun in the 12th with this dosha? What would come your way that you didn't even notice? I'm just trying to understand how it actually looks in real life.
Sun eclipsed in the 12th house, they will never even aware of something called soul. So forget about enlightenment.
I'm
They
actually
actually are, yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead, Dr. Vikas. Sorry.
No, if they are actually having an eclipse sun, I am not saying sun just in 12th house. I'm saying an eclipsed sun in the 12th house. Whatever we call it anatmavada, they will actually think something else as soul. They will consider something else as essence of life. That means they will be so close to moksha, but they will not even try to get there. Or they will try in a completely illusion filled way, because if it is eclipsed by Rahu, it is a completely fully illusion way, or if it is eclipsed by Ketu, it will be fully in a destructive way. Is it clear?
The reason I ask is because I know somebody who is enlightened who has moon conjunct Rahu in the 8th, and another person I know who is very spiritual with sun conjunct Rahu in the 12th, and I would consider them both to be highly spiritual people. So that's why I'm asking this question, because it seems that maybe there's some other thing in the chart that I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
there is an interesting question that you need to evaluate. That is it eclipsed or conjuncted?
Yes, they're definitely not eclipsed. They're just conjunct.
Because sun and moon derive greater power when they just are with Rahu and Ketu but not eclipsed. The best strength position for sun and moon are with Rahu and Ketu but not eclipsed. It is actually resurrection that shows resurrection.
So these people actually, they are able to make that push and make that realization because they're conjunct but not eclipsed.
Exactly. Conjunct means their awareness is actually at the edge of the time, and not eclipsed means they still have their independent will to push through that edge of the time. Now there are some other questions. Yeah, Pitrudosha. Pitrudosha is many type, but generally it is having Sun and Saturn in bad houses plus a compromised ninth house. A full Pitrudosha will have three factors: a bad Sun, a bad Saturn, a bad ninth house.
Sorry,
Now,
sorry, Dr. Vikas, can I just ask one clarifying question on my previous question?
yeah,
Because I seem to have karma with very difficult people with difficult lives, and I'm just actually very interested to know how this works. So, because of those placements, they are on the edge of that, and yet they still have to give such a great push in order to achieve that moksha. Because
yes,
it's 6th, 8th, or 12th. Okay, now I get it. Now I get it.
Dr. Vikas, I also have a question. Is that possible still?
absolutely yes.
Yeah. I was wondering what's the impact of Rahu and Ketu on other planets. So do they also shadow other planets? Of course, probably not as strongly or as impactfully as Sun and Moon. That was one.
Yeah, they will eclipse other planets also, but this grahana dosha only comes for Sun and Moon.
Okay, clear. And the other question is, for example, if Rahu and Ketu are on the very edge of the house, I have them on a 29 degrees 48 minutes. So how much is their impact over the border of the house on the other house and the planets that are in another house?
If the planet is actually in the other house, it is already past the eclipse
Okay, clear.
because
And if
without
it's
going through,
before?
because from this 29 degree 48 minutes, Rahu walk backs. That means it is not going towards the
Yes.
30th degree. It
Yeah,
is
of
going
course.
back to the 28th degree.
Of course, sure. Okay,
They
and how
kind of
does
like,
it then impact the planets in the previous house? Sorry, correct. Totally, yeah.
if that planets are actually considering the answering another question also, if that planets are actually within the range of 10 degrees to Rahu, they are eclipsed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they are not. 10 degrees is the mark. They are close to 10 degree from Rahu, they are eclipsed. Otherwise, they are not.
And is it so that the planet has to walk towards Rahu, right? If they're past, then it's out of eclipse already. Also, if it's within the 10 degrees.
Yeah, if they are past, but still in the same house, like if the house is jumped, the planet kind of like changes that. But if they are in the same house but past the eclipse, means they will be in a shock. They will
Yeah,
be in a
yeah.
shock of eclipse.
Mhm.
So we generally say eclipse, fear of eclipse, shock of eclipse.
Mhm.
Generally, for planets like Sun and Moon, the fear of eclipse is strong. Like it actually disturbs them. Eclipse disturb them very much. Shock of eclipse actually make them strong, super strong actually. But for the other planets like Jupiter, etc., the fear of eclipse is not like that. It is not there, not strong. But shock of eclipse definitely is there. They will be not fully activated if they are actually just coming out from the eclipse. They will not deactivate it like in an eclipse, but their activation will be having a mildness inside that.
But so on the sun and the moon, it will have a positive effect, the shock. And on the other planets, it will actually milden them or
Have a mild effect.
sorry, can you repeat? Because it broke a bit.
Sun and moon, when they came out of eclipse, they are super enriched,
Mhm.
super strong. But for other planets, when they are coming out of eclipse, they are a bit shocked.
Tired. Yeah.
So just to understand, coming out of eclipse means that, for example, moon is 12 degrees and Rahu is 10 degrees. Is that
Yeah,
coming out of
moon
the
come
eclipse?
out of eclipse. Yes, That moon actually is having this grahana dosha. It is actually will, if one big push, it will actually take the person to the other level.
Okay, thanks.
What if the sun or moon are behind Rahu or Ketu though?
They will be having fear of eclipse. Good, workable, very nice, but still that actually will make them having what we call vairagya, detachment, and that actually will be a big push for them to get out of that. So any position other than eclipse is actually good.
So fear of eclipse would be if moon is 1 degree and Rahu is 12 degrees or not?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Sorry, Dr. Vikas. I think because sometimes I have a hard time understanding how these actually show up in somebody's experience. So, enriched from eclipse, I kind of get it, but fear of eclipse, meaning their fear of losing themselves somehow,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
okay,
They will be constantly trying to do something. The fear of eclipse will make them push hard.
because they fear that something will take them over.
And
And
for
if
that,
it's
if there is a different effect, different kind of push required for whether it is Rahu or Ketu, it's actually different. But I think it is too much for us to discuss.
sure. And then if it's after Rahu Ketu, they have no fear of being eclipsed, but they're just super powerful with that
Yeah.
planet.
Yes. Sun or moon. Yes. Okay. I think everything is answered. Yeah, everything is answered. So I have a plan to answer the questions in the group today, but it never worked out. So I will answer them again in the group. Thank you.